This is how I recreated the Iron Giant in 3D on my iPad. So, a friend asked me to build the Iron Giant, and it's been a long time since I've done anything like a mech. In fact, the last mech that I did was the one from Armored Core. If you don't know who the Iron Giant is, it's this movie from the 90s that was really good and kind of a tearjerker if you were a kid. You should check it out, it's great. So, I'm going to show you the workflow to how I built this and how you can use apps like this to create incredible stories for comics, manga, and webtoons. This will be a series, and it's my hope is that you'll gain the confidence to try for yourself and learn a few things about Magic Poser. But before I'm able to start, the questions I have to answer is, how complicated is it? What I'm really asking is, how do I start a project like this? This is the same question you have to ask yourself. For every new project I take on, I need to research first. I collect as much visual info as possible, like photos, 3D models, and even the movie itself. In this case, out of everything I've found, the movie is the best source. It was the most accurate out of everything, and it was likely that the 3D model took creative license on there, and I wasn't willing to make that compromise. I start looking for ways I can rebuild. The key is to find shapes in what you're recreating. Geometric shapes in Magic Poser are very versatile. You can really use them for everything. This is why I love Magic Poser. I can use the props to shape any way I want, which has a much smaller learning curve than some other apps I know. My main tools I use in Magic Poser are Group, Duplicate, and Rotate. I use all of these along with the Move tool to make insane stuff on this app. First, I start on the center of the head dome. I want to have a long center, but also want something that is hollow so I can have control over the model. Top of the head dome is curved on the movie character, so I'll use 2 spheres for this. This way I can get a head-shaped curve. The antenna fin is tricky because there isn't a geometric shape that would allow me to create a sharper, but still round corner in the front, and then a smooth curve in the back to then disappear into the head like the movie. So what I have to do is use multiple spheres to create a guide for making the fin. For now, I just put placeholders for the eyes to get the right size and spacing. With the mouth and jaw, I reuse what I've already created. jaw joints complete this whole look for the mouth of the Iron Giant. It just looks great. Now I could have done more for this and made a hole for a screw to go in, but I knew that it would have been one of those tiny details that would have been great but more work than what it was worth. I figured that if I make this it would be at the end or in an upgraded version of this build, so I'll just make a cylinder to fit in the middle for now. Now that the main shapes of the head and face have been created, I can now put focus on the minor details that will make this build appear more accurate. Shaping the jawline requires a different shape. In this case, a rhombus or parallelogram is perfect to continue the curve for the bottom of the jaw and angle the back. Back to the eye now. When shaping the eyes, I noticed what looks like a brow on the Iron Giant's face. So to recreate that, I make a shape that allows me to have the angle and roundness of a cone, but the cut off and opening for the eyes to show. When you build a large scene like this, reusing parts might seem kinda lazy, but also efficient. You want to reuse custom shapes like this as much as possible. The neck thankfully is really simple. All I have to do is duplicate and resize the cylinder to make the neck look accurate. Everything looks really great so far, so I start to build the torso top. This part is a little challenging for me cause I'm not really paying attention to how long the middle is, but rather how angled the front and back is. When I have a challenge like this, I end up having imperfections. It's okay unless you're a perfectionist. What I'll end up doing is going back to this part to make it more accurate before I get too far into the build. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good about what I've done and I'm ready to take a break, but I have this nagging reminder that the eyes don't look right. so I can't leave it alone. This is where reusing parts of the build as much as possible is great, so I end up reusing the parts I created for the eyes to create depth. One more thing, remember when I said that I wanted to have more control over the head? Well, it ended up being useful in the end cause I was able to resize parts of the head where the eyes are. This way the head doesn't appear like they're glitching or clipping into the eyes. To help you develop your artistic skills and tell great stories, I created a Patreon where I share my 3D scenes, thoughts, and strategies on how you can become a successful webtoon, manga, or comic book artist. This isn't the end either. I'm currently working on finishing the Iron Giant. So, if you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe with notifications so you don't miss part 2, and if you'd like to learn more about how to use Magic Poser, then watch this video right here.